Think about AWS like a utility bill, except instead of just electricity, you are paying for compute, storage, network, and dozens of other services. The key is understanding where your money goes and how to optimize each component. Let's dive into 7 tips to control your cost. The first essential step is implementing AWS Cost Explorer. Many teams skip this step and jump straight into optimization. It's like trying to reduce a home energy bill without knowing which appliances use the most power. Cost Explorer breaks down spending by service, time period, and usage patterns. Users can spot trends like unexpected spikes in data transfer cost or identify underutilized resources that are eating into the budget. The second tip is resource tagging. Untagged resources in AWS are like unmarked boxes in a massive warehouse. They are clearly costing money, but it's impossible to tell which project or team they belong to. Create a consistent tagging strategy, tag by project, environment, and owner. When that surprise cost appears in the bill, it's possible to trace it back to the source instead of playing detective with the infrastructure. The third tip covers choosing the right pricing model. AWS offers on-demand, reserved, and spot instances. Sticking with just on-demand instances is like buying single tickets instead of a season pass. For predictive workloads, reserved instances can save up to 75% compared to on-demand. For flexible workloads like batch processing, spot instances can cut costs by up to 90%. Match the pricing model to workload patterns. The fourth tip addresses autoscaling. Running servers 24/7 at peak capacity is like leaving the AC running full blast even when no one is at home. Autoscaling matches resources to actual demand. Set up CloudWatch alarms to monitor usage patterns. Configure autoscaling groups to scale down during low traffic periods. The infrastructure adapts to demand, optimizing cost automatically. The fifth tip explores AWS budgets. Without budgets, teams are flying blind until the bill arrives. Think of it as setting spending limit on a credit card. Create budgets based on historical data from Cost Explorer. Set up notifications at 80% and 90% of the budget. When an alert arrives, actions can be taken before costs spiral out of control. The sixth tip tackles storage optimization. Storage costs can silently grow over time, like a closet slowly filling with items never used. Start with S3 lifecycle policies. Move infrequently accessed data to cheaper storage tiers. Set up automatic deletion for outdated logs and backups. Use S3 analytics to identify which data should move to Glacier for even more savings. The final tip covers right-sizing resources. Many teams over-provision their resources out of caution. It's like buying a truck when a compact car would do the job just fine. Use AWS Compute Optimizer to analyze resources usage patterns. It examines CPU, memory, and network usage to recommend the most cost-effective instance types. When resources are constantly using only a fraction of their capacity, downsizing to a smaller instance in the same family can save up to 50% of the cost. Beyond right-sizing, there is also an opportunity to optimize through instance family selection. For example, AWS Graviton processors, being ARM-based instead of x86, can offer significant cost saving for compatible workloads. However, this requires application compatibility testing and is a separate optimization strategy from right-sizing. Cost optimization in AWS is not just a one-time task. It's an ongoing process of monitoring, analyzing, and adjusting. These tips, when implemented systematically, lead to compounding savings over time. The results will be clear in next month's bill.